The burnt egg roll?
What's up with it, B?
Yo, what up, Dr. Bombay?
What's up, man? You was watching that game?
Nah, I wasn't even watching it, man. I was just getting ready for this conversation with you.
Yes, sir. You ain't a football fan?
Nah, I'm not too big into football like that. How about you? How was the first half looking?
It was all right. Tom Brady did his thing. The whole motherfucking time, Tom Brady. All Tom Brady.
So you think the Bucks are gonna get it though?
Yeah, it's over.
I appreciate you agreeing to re-record this episode, man. Sorry about last time.
It's like this. Whenever you need me, just call. Whenever you need me.
Right on. So some of the questions that I asked you, it might be similar to some of the questions that I asked you last time, but just so the audience or the listeners, they have a better understanding and idea of who you are and where you're from. On G-Funk Nutso's page, he put up that the Money Gang Circus. Is that your new project?
It's the new project. Yeah, that's my new project. But Nutso, me and Nutso, we gonna be together for a long time. You know, I think that's a friendship that's gonna last a lifetime. That's a real friendship. That's my homie right there.
How did you connect with him?
I was browsing on YouTube and I seen that he liked my old album. So then I reached out and we got to talking about my album and talking about where I went and all that stuff, and then we just connected. You know, we just connected, and it's been a pleasure and an honor and a privilege meeting him, talking to him, and getting to know him. He's a cool dude. I didn't know I was way out there in Australia though. I didn't know that. For real, I didn't know I was way out there.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, man. Since we're on the subject, you're talking about your debut album Coming Up in the Game that was released in 1999.
1999. In the mid-90s, around 95, 96, I did an album Coming Up in the Game when I was like 15, 16. I did an album and I never released it until 99. But then by the time I was ready to release the album, I had caught a case and I got incarcerated and went to jail. And so I never got a chance to really release the album. But it made its way to the street, found its way out there, and people like it. You know, people on the underground really know about it. Really an underground album that grew wings.
Big shout out to G-Funk Nutso for he put me on the game on your album.
Yeah.
So I gave it a listen, and it definitely, the sound took me back to the 90s. Because I grew up listening to hip-hop in the 90s, so a lot of the sound is very West Coast G-Funk sounds.
Mm-hmm. I was 15, 16 doing that. I was young.
I was going to ask you, like, how did you get into, like, that whole, like, idea of putting together this album? And can you talk about, like, what was the recording experience like?
I've been rapping since I was, like, 12, and I was out in the streets, going from garage to garage, cipher to cipher, rapping, doing the hip hop thing. I was really into hip hop, like a backpack rapper. Like back in 92, 93, I was a backpack rapper, like real hip hop.
Yeah.
So I was going into these ciphers and learning how to write, learning how to rhyme, learning how to jump in after the next person and honing the craft. So as I got older, I got involved with gangsta rap. So as I began to get involved with gangsta rap, my sound evolved from backpack rap, backpack hip hop, to gangster rap. Like I was influenced by like NWA, Too Short, Spice One, Singing, E40. So that was my influence.
Yeah.
So when I came up on all these rappers. So when I started writing and I started creating, you never knew what you was gonna get. Like when I write, a little bit of Too Short to come out, a little bit of E40 to come out, a little bit of J. Jonah Sin to come out. So I was just writing, but then when I busted, it came out like that. But I wrote it, you know. So it's like it don't really matter who you rap like, as long as you know how to write. It's all about writing. If you're a good writer, you can make good music.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I honed my skills from hip hop to gangster rap, and I was like 15, 16. A guy, I had one of my childhood friends, a guy named Slim. He took me to the studio, and this guy had just opened up a studio in Richmond, and it was called Poor Man's Studio. And so he my partner Andre Rivers at Poor Man Studio. He ran Poor Man Studio. An older gentleman named Andre Rivers with an engineer background. He wasn't really a producer. He was more like an engineer. So he brought me in. I was fresh. I was raw, rough around the edges, fresh off the street. Yes. Never been to a real recording studio or never been around that type of stuff. So I just sat in a chair and I watched him and I learned about recording. I learned about $50,000 boards and screens and monitors, and I seen all these gadgets and gadgets that he had, and I learned that it ain't he had them to like he had like a $70,000-$80,000 studio, but I learned that it ain't how expensive your studio is. It's how you know how to work with what you got. Yeah. Because you can have a $70,000, $80,000 studio and not be good with it, or you can have a $10,000 studio and be real good with it. So it's really not about what you got; it's about the person. So he showed me that he was a real craftsman. Like he wasn't a producer. Like basically calling him a producer is insulting to him. He's an engineer. So he sat me down, and then I asked him. I'm like, I want to make an album. Yeah. You know, because I was 15, 16, and he was charging me for studio time. $20 an hour. He's charging me $20 an hour for studio time. So I went in there. And he tell me, I say, I need some tracks. How much would you charge me for some tracks? He say, I charge you $5,000 a track. He say, give me $5 grand a track. I'm like, $5,000 a track? I'm like, I'm only 15, 16. But right. He was a good producer and he was professional. He worked with a lot of R&B artists and stuff like that. So I told him I can't afford no $5,000 a track because I'm gonna make 3 songs and that's it. I want to make an album. Yeah. So I say, man, I can't afford no $5,000 a track. So he say, I tell you what, this is what I'll do for you. Basically, if you pay for the studio time and bring me some old school beats that you like, well, I sit in here, you'll sit in here with me, and we'll recreate out of these old school beats, and we'll bring out brand new beats out of these beats. But just bring me what you like. And you gotta pay for the studio time. If you sit down here with me, and we gonna do this shit together. So that's what it was. I brought in tracks that I liked it, and it took us 2 hours to build the track from scratch. 2 hours to build the beat from scratch. In there, and it took 2 hours to lay the vocals. It took me 2 hours to lay the vocals. Every track. So it was like 4 hours. Every song on that album took like 4 hours to make, but it wasn't really the beats that was the problem. It was the vocals. Like it was like I was recording a movie. You know, take after take after take after take. You know, it was times that we was in the studio like 11, 12 o'clock at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like the verse wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. So I go back in the booth, hit the same verse over and over again. Come back out, listen to it. Oh, it's not good enough. Go in the bathroom, hit some Hennessy, drink smoke, and go back in there. Hit it hard. I gave it my all, but to where sometimes I was kind of like harsh. My voice was harsh, and it just made it all the more better. It was gritty. It was gritty, gangster. It was street. It was raw. It was different, you know. So that's what I wanted. I wanted something different. And when we came out with the Coming Up in the Game album, which was a couple of my childhood friends and a couple of guys that I came up listening to, like Cooley and DJ Doe and a couple of other guys that I know, they was on the album, and we just made a Dr. Bombay project, and it was legendary. Everybody in the neighborhood loved it. It's like as long as the neighborhood loved it, I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck if I sold one fucking album. As long as my people liked it, I didn't even have to like it. As long as my folks love the album, that's all that really matters to me. Yeah. So that's what I went with, and that's what I pushed with. And I never really technically released it, but it was bootlegged. Yeah. You know, it was bootleg, but I got a certain type of outspec and a certain type of way I look at stuff because I'm an artist. And I look at bootlegging as a good thing. I look at people that bootleg and put it out there because they at home for it, they want it. So I look at that, that's a good thing. People want to hear the music. And I'm more of I want to inspire people. I want to help people chase their dreams. I don't want to slow nobody down. I don't want to cut nobody off. I don't want to, I don't want to stop nobody. I don't want to discourage people. I do stuff to encourage people. Yeah. I didn't give a fuck about them bootlegging it.
Going back to your album though, like a couple, and we talked about this last time, but a few tracks that I liked off your album was Grinding Hard for My Fetty. That's a dope track.
Yeah.
And then I just was re-listening to your album again today, and that Animosity Killed the Mac. That sample right there, I wanted to ask you, what track is, do you remember what track that is sampled from?
That's a Marvin Gaye sample.
I've heard other producers use that before.
It's Marvin Gaye. It's Sexual Healing. Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing.
Gotcha. I was like, man, this sounds very familiar.
Ring a bell now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I get that feeling. See, that's what he told me. He told me, just bring me stuff you like and I'll pour something out of it. So I just brought it.
Yeah. In your album, you talk about Hilltop Mall.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell me about some stories from your past about Hilltop Mall that you can remember.
Mall. See, Hilltop Mall it was our local mall. It's the local mall. Like if you're from the Richmond area, San Pablo, connecting area, you know about Hilltop Mall. Hilltop is a section of Richmond. It's really technically Richmond. So you got Hilltop, you got San Pablo, and you got Richmond. But Hilltop and San Pablo is really Richmond. It's just the good part. It's just the good part, but it's still Richmond. So Hilltop was our neighborhood mall and is legendary. Hilltop is like Eastmont Mall. It's legendary like that when it comes to Richmond. So many things went down at Hilltop Mall, fights, murders, drug deals, anything you could think about that happens in the street happened at Hilltop Mall, to where they put a police substation in the parking lot of the mall because it was too much gang activity. People was getting their head bust at the mall. So people were shooting in the mall on camera, didn't care. It was real greedy. Like Richmond is a terrible city, period. People will let you have it anywhere. But Hilltop Mall, it was all the ballers used to go up there and get fitted. Everybody in the Bay know about Hilltop Mall.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Like Richmond definitely has a reputation, and I think a lot of people, they probably know about it through that movie Coach Carter. We talked about that last time. You said you went to the same high school. So what was your experience like at Richmond High?
Going to Richmond High was basically like, it was wild. It was wild. It was basically like, it's terrible. They didn't teach us nothing, to be honest with you. They didn't teach us shit. Our motherfucking basketball and football team was in last place every year. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to school just to smoke. I used to go to school to smoke weed, sell weed, shoot dice. You know what I'm saying? And look at the bitches and find the bitches, pull up to the high in the Cadillac and this and that and the Rena, and it was a fashion show. It was, you just go to you go to school to be seen. Back then, you went to school to be seen. You didn't go to school to go to school. You went to the school to be seen, then you went back to the dope track.
Yeah. What were you thinking when Coach Carter, he came there and he tried to change the system a little bit? And I don't know.
I'm going to say like this, though. Mm-hmm. Coach Carter, he didn't try to do it. He did change it, whereas it was some kids that really wanted to play sports and excel at it, but they just wasn't no good, and they coming in last place every year. So he changed it. He made it work something. He made people feel like playing sports. That's a good thing. He did. He changed it. He changed it around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
According to that movie, there was like some publicity around him, right? Because the program started doing better.
Yeah, he did. He changed a lot of people.
There's like a lot of like movies that kind of portray like gritty high schools and stuff, but like for you actually like experienced that in real life.
Yeah. You ever seen the movie Lean on Me?
Yeah.
That's what Richmond High was. That's what Richmond High was. Like Lean on Me. Shit. That's what it was like, right? Before he turned the school around, that's how Richmond High was.
Talk about what it was like growing up, like in Richmond for you, in kind of like your early childhood, like your elementary days. What kind of memories do you have?
Elementary, when I was going to elementary, my mother, she sent me to the elementary in the suburbs. I didn't go to the local elementary. I didn't go to Verde. They got an elementary. Well, they had an elementary in my neighborhood called Verde Elementary, but they didn't used to teach the kids nothing. The kids, they didn't know. They didn't teach the kids how to read and all that old shit. It was like they was lacking. They school little thing was lacking. So my mom, she sent me to the elementary in the suburbs with the white folks.
Right.
So I went to a white elementary. I didn't go to elementary with all my friends and stuff, but a lot of my friends, they had learning problems. After that they had learning problems. You know, they had elementary, they couldn't even spell cat and dog. By the time they got to junior high, they just dropped out altogether.
What was it like for you growing up with, or I mean, going to school with like white kids in the beginning? Was it hard for you?
It was great. I loved it. You know, I loved it. It was good. They taught me. I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? They prepared me for higher learning, even though I never made it to higher learning. But they prepared me. They prepared me for life. You know, reading, writing, and math and all that stuff. You know, they prepared me, and you know, it was different. I liked it. You know, it was like I stuck out. You know, I stuck out. So I got used to being popular. I got used to having attention. You know, I just got used to that. You know? I was the cool kid from the ghetto. You know, they used to take me to the my partners and stuff used to take me to their friends and to their houses and stuff. You know, they house on the hill, Benz in the driveway, Benz in the car port and all that, and mom's a doctor, dad a lawyer, and they get to tell them, hey, this my partner, he go to school with me. Where he stay? Oh, he stay in North Richmond. Double take. North Richmond? What he doing way out here? So, you know, it was a lot of that. You know, they had their eyes on him, you know. You gotta watch that guy. He's from the ghetto. But I liked it that though. I liked it being the bad guy, the big bad guy. You know?
That was like your elementary days, but then later on when you went to like junior high school, that's when you went back to kind of like more of like
I went to a white junior high. I went to a white junior high. And it was more the same. It was more I used to dance. You know, you ever heard of housing?
Nah.
You ever heard of a dance style called housing? You had break dancing and you had housing. It's kind of like a form of break dancing, but it's loose. I used to house, I used to dance, I used to rap, I used to, you know, do stuff like that in junior high. You know, and it was more hip hop though, hip hop and dance groups and stuff. So I did good in junior high. I was always on the honor roll. I was an honor roll student.
After junior high, then you went to Richmond High, and then when did you kind of like become more involved in kind of like the street life per se?
Over the summer from junior high to high school, big transformation. You know, a lot of them are hanging out. You know what I'm saying, with friends I ain't been able to hang out with in years. You know, like I was off. You know, I was off to elementary in a white neighborhood. I was off to junior high in a white neighborhood. Then by the time when it came for me to go to the real high school, my normal city high school, I seen how my friends and stuff conducted themselves like during the daytime. We used to leave the high school. It wasn't in the daytime. We used to be gone. You know, it's like I didn't never experience nothing like that. I thought you go to school in the daytime. You don't do nothing in the daytime. Nah, I went with my friends and we got in cars and drove to other high schools, caused riots and ruckus and was hollering at bitches and music pumping, weed and everything. So I started missing school. I started skipping school and having extracurricular activities during the daytime. Yeah. You know, so I was cutting up in the daytime then, and it got too good for me. You know, I felt like school was getting in the way of making money. That's the way you think. That's the way your logic think when you go into school and you get out of school and you see people that been out there selling drugs and making money all day while you been in school, you'd be like, damn, I've been missing money. And so they turn it to money, and you like, shit, I can't keep missing all this money because Joe Blow, he balling, and he didn't drop out of school, so he posting up, making big money. So I'm like, hell no, I can't keep missing money. So it was the wrong mentality. I didn't know no better.
Throughout all that time, you stayed writing still, though, right?
Stayed writing, stayed rapping, stayed going to makeshift studios, you know, hole in the wall studios in my partner's garage and stuff. Until I went to Poor Man, I have never really been in a real studio, but that was the first time I've been in a real studio when I went to Comin. But other than that, I was just messing with ciphers, you know, writing. It was a hobby. I fell in love with it.
Gatekeeper Records, is that the one that put out your first album? Is that record company still around, or do you keep in touch with those people?
Well, the thing about Gatekeeper Records is Gatekeeper Records is mine. It's my label. It's my brand. It's my imprint. But when I was young and I was going to Poe Man and I was doing my music, Andre Rivers, he brought me some papers. He brought me some BMI papers, and he helped me fill out the papers, and we went over there, went through it, and we read the papers, and he helped me trademark and publish my name and publish my Gatekeeper record label. He helped me put the paperwork together so where I can always use that. You know, I can always use Dr. Bombay. I can always use Gatekeeper Records. But that's all me. That's all Dr. Bombay. I put that together. But as I got older and I started getting into street life, the authorities portrayed Gatekeeper Records as Gatekeeper the Gang. They stamped the gang with it. So it was like, had a black eye. Gatekeeper had a black eye. You know, it was a record label I started, but it just, when I got hot, authorities, they went on it and said, oh, this is a gang. This is not no record label. These guys are a gang. They throwing up gang signs. They doing all this stuff, and they selling drugs and all this. So, you know, that's what happened. They turned it into a criminal street gang. But shit, if the shoe fit, wear it. I mean, like, you know, I was in denial for a long time. I was in denial. You know, that's one thing I wanted to say though. You know, like Northern California and Southern California, the big difference between Northern and Southern California is down south, when they coming up and they're young, whatever, they know they in the game. But when you coming up north, I'm just from the hood. I'm from my neighborhood. I'm from the East Oakland. I'm from North Richmond. I'm from the South. Next thing, you don't really think you're in a gang. You just hanging with your friends. You just hanging with family. But you really in the gang. You're really in the gang. It's the same shit. I was in denial for a long time. I ain't in no gang. I'm from North Richmond. Until the police started going down these. They had the little paper and these monikers. Oh, do you guys throw up gang signs? Do you guys write on the wall? Do you guys commit crimes? Yeah. Oh, this is a gang. So, you know.
Yeah.
I was denial for a long time. I didn't know I was in the gang. I didn't know it was a gang banger. You know, it was normal to me. It was natural. You know?
Well, I think like the street gangs, they originated in LA, right? Bloods and Crips.
Yeah.
But
see, I ain't never been a Blood or a Crip. That's why I didn't know that I was in a damn gang. I'm just with my homies. I'm just with the family, and I'm just with my side of the town. But it was a gang. But no Crips and Bloods at all, but it was a gang.
Well, you grew up in a time when gangster rap was kind of like at one of the highest points.
Yes.
And so I'm sure that kind of influenced your mind state as well as your music.
It's like when people listen to gangster rap, and if they're not familiar with it, it just sounds like a bunch of bitches and hoes and nigga this and kill that and go to the trap house, and it sounds like that. But if you're a real fan of rap and a real fan of music, of rap music, you will listen to the words, you'll listen to the rhymes, you'll listen to the flows, you'll listen to the writing, you'll listen to everything that goes behind it. A lot of stuff go behind it, but you got to pick up on it. And it's people that's real hardcore hip hop fans. They know how to look for the talent. So a lot of times, bitches and hoes and niggas and that, it gets you to oversee the talent. So I'm lucky and I'm thankful that people can see my talent instead of what I was just talking about. See, that's what's good about art. You paint it up real good, and hey, I'm gonna kick your ass, I'm gonna pimp your daughter, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But if you say it right, oh, that's kind of tight. That's kind of nice. It's art.
Yeah.
That's what it is, art. You know?
Here's a line from your album that I liked when I was re-listening to your album today. You said, he tried to outdo the teacher and a lesson is taught.
Lesson is taught.
You remember that line?
Yeah, it's like when I create, when I write, everything I rap about I haven't done. A lot of times it's either I've done it, I've experienced it, or I've been around it, so I just put it on wax. And when I was making that line, that simple rhyme right there, I was basically saying that I'm superior. You know, like that comes from my hip hop background, a metaphor. You know, I was speaking as if I was superior, like I couldn't be fucked with. Like I'm the teacher, I'm the shit, I'm this, I'm that, and you out there, it comes from a battle rap. It came from a battle rap background. A lot of that shit, a lot of that album come from a battle rap hip hop background, but I was trying to break away from the hip hop thing and go hardcore. And a lot of times when I hear the hip hop in my gangster rap, I don't like it because it kind of feel like it's corny. But it's like everything I do I don't like, but somebody likes it. So I can make a song and I might not like it, but somebody else might like it. So, you know. Last
time we talked, I asked you, I said, because it sounded like there was a kid voice and then an adult voice on, you know, most of the tracks. But in my mind, I thought you were the adult voice, but you're actually the kid voice.
It's like this. You was right. You was right. Basically, what it is it's my voice. It's like, that's how my voice is. It's like, that was my ad-lib. Like, I was rapping over my track on a different treble bass. It was a different treble bass over my voice, but I was rapping over my other voice. It's like I was ad-libbing, you know. I was ad-libbing over my track, so it seems like that it was another person, but it's all me. And that's just a little trick that I picked up. You know, that's a trick I picked up, a trick that Andre Rivers that he had put together. He the one that basically made that whole sound, you know, and I just seen that sound and heard that sound, and that's what I go for that sound. I like the sharpness in my voice. You hear how my voice be so it can get sharp, or you know, and I like that sharpness, and you know, that's what I like, that high sharpness. So yeah, but he brought that sound out though. He brought that sound out, not stuff.
From that project being released in '99, and for the people listening, yeah.
No, I was slinging it out the trunk. I got around to slinging it out the trunk. But
technically released bootleg, however it got out to the public somehow.
Yes.
There was a 1999 release date on it. From that time, like, this is, and I know we talked about this last time, and it's something that you might not want to talk about, but
hey, the flow is yours. Whatever you want to talk about, bring it. It's all good.
Yeah. This one is more about, like, so if a lot of people listening right now, they don't know, you're currently incarcerated.
Yeah, incarcerated, yeah.
And you get out pretty soon in 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
So that must be pretty exciting, huh? You feeling pretty good about
really
that?
Exciting. Really, really exciting. What it is I can't wait to get in front of that microphone popper, you know, because out of everything that all the studio, all the music I did and everything, all the hours I put in the studio, the thing that stick out to me is that black thing that go on before the mic. Yeah. You know, it's a little popper that is before the mic.
Right.
And that thing brings back so many memories to me, to where it was just this. I got a relationship with that thing. I gotta have one. It's like therapeutic. It's like, I don't know, it just put me in that mood. Before we get to more of like the present day time, like how you feeling and stuff, like what kind of like was your mindset leading into like becoming incarcerated? I wanted to work with all the greats. I wanted to work with everything great in the Bay. I wanted to work with the E40s. I wanted to work with the Too Shorts. I wanted to work with the Spice Ones. I wanted to work with the 3-Time Crazies and Keep the Sneak. And I never got a chance to work with them guys because I wasn't out for that long. I was doing music for a minute, but I wasn't out for that long. But that's what I really wanted to do leading up into my incarceration. Is I wanted to reach out, and I wanted to work with established Bay Area artists on the underground that was established.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never got a chance to do that. You know, and that's what I really wanted to do. I think if I would have got a chance to work with E40 or Scene or Jay Jonah or Kick the Sneak, I think you would have heard about me. Somebody would have reached out to me, but I was so much in them streets.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people was afraid of me. They was intimidated by me. You know, and I couldn't blame them. You know, I was wild youngster. So
yeah.
I don't blame them people for not wanting to work with me.
Are you familiar with something called the Iron Triangle?
Yes.
Was that around when you were coming up? Was that term?
It's still around right now. The Iron Triangle. The Iron Triangle is Central Richmond. It's Central Richmond. I'm from the north. You got the north, and you got the south, and you got Central, and you got Portchester Village, San Pablo. But the Iron Triangle consists of a triangle that cuts out all Central Richmond. Central Richmond. That's why they call it the Iron Triangle. They might not call it that no more, but that's what it is. It's Central Richmond.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible out there.
It's probably kind of similar to maybe South Central LA, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but shit, Richmond's so damn small, you can't compare it to LA.
On a smaller scale.
It's tiny. Yeah, small scale. Yeah, you can't even compare Richmond to Oakland by the size. Richmond is just it's a small city. That's why it's so crazy, because it's so dangerous to be a small city. It's so dangerous just to be a small area. Going
into your incarceration at that time, so I know you've grown a lot. Your headspace was probably different, as you said, like based off your surroundings and all that. Talk about the adjustment period going in.
You see, when I got locked up, it was a big learning curve, because I ain't never been to the hall, never been to juvenile hall, never been to nothing. I just got through straight in the fire. Mm-hmm. So me coming straight from the county, I went straight from the county to Pelican Bay. They sent me, that was my first stop. They sent me from the county to San Quentin to Pelican Bay. First jail experience, first prison experience. I went straight there. So this was in fucking 2001. Oh yeah, I got shipped to Pelican Bay in like 2001, and they were just coming off a real big. Now they were still on lockdown for a big riot. They was on lockdown for 2 years. So when I came, they was on a 2-year lockdown. So I was like, I don't know what to do, but they pointed me to my people, showed me who my peoples was, and I recognized my peoples, and it was older peoples, and they showed me how prison was supposed to go. But that early time, I had a rough time because I was hard-headed. You know, I didn't listen. You know, you tell me something, I do the opposite. You know, I was real rebellious. You know, I didn't give a fuck about authority. I didn't care about nothing. All I wanted to do was escape. I wanted to drink. I wanted to smoke. I wanted to gamble. I wanted to be outside the cell. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And after a while, I got stuck in Pelican Bay for 9 years. It was hard to get out of that place. So I had to chill out. I had to chill because I seen people coming and going, and people was coming and being good and leaving, and I'm still there acting a damn fool. So I say, fuck that. I can't go out like this no more. I've been away from my family too long. So I had to change my tune.
That must have been pretty crazy as far as like, you know, you kind of like hearing your sentencing, and then what when you heard that, when you heard the judge read that out, like what did your mind think at that time?
I heard bells, you know, like ringing, ears ringing. That's what it felt like. It felt like, hey, it's a part of it. This comes with it, you know. It ain't nothing like surprise. They don't surprise you in the prison system. Ain't no surprises. They tell you what they gonna do before they do it to you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when you go to the box, you got a feeling. You know if you gonna get convicted or not. You know, because a lot of times that jury, they 90% of the time guilty. If he arrested, they arrested him. He in jail. He must have did it. For the record, I mean, I didn't do the shit out. You know, if you arrested, the jury think you're guilty.
What are some things that you do currently now to kind of like pass time?
What I do is I stay in communication with my family. I keep my mind right. I eat right. I exercise. I do music. I write music. I listen to music. I stay positive. You know, I keep a positive energy, a positive attitude. You know, I grow. You know, my thing now is I'm growing mentally. My thing is to grow mentally every day. If you don't learn something, you don't grow and go forward every day. Either you're going forward or you're going backwards. So every day I wanna see progress every day. So that's what I do. I'm getting my life together. But you got to see it before you do it. A lot of times people wait till they get out there to try to put it together. But you got to put it together before you do it. You got to have goals, and you got to stick with it, and you got to do the groundwork. Don't worry about what you're doing. You do the groundwork, and you're going to end up there. Just do the groundwork. You know? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the groundwork. I'm talking to you. I want you guys to go on YouTube and look up Dr. Bombay, Coming Up in the Game, Dr. Bombay, The Money Gang Circus, Dr. Bombay, The Money Gang Show. I want y'all to look it up and run it. And I want y'all to listen to it. And I just don't want y'all to listen to the flows and the music and the instruments. I want you guys to listen to the writings. I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying, because it's really more than rap. It's always been bigger than rap. It's a culture.
What inspires you these days for your lyrics that you write now?
Emotions, feelings, progress, pushing the culture forward. I want to push the culture forward, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I want to add on. I don't want to take us back. I don't want to take away. I want to add. So I want to know how I can make the best music possible. And anybody around me, I want to know, and I want to figure out, and I want to help them to make the best music possible. My thing is to make the best music, is because my hobby is music. I'm in it for the passion. I'm in it for inspiration. I'm in it for the music. So I like to hear good music. You know, I'm not no hater.
Have you been staying in tune with kind of like the new beats and sounds that are coming out of the Bay Area these days?
Yes, I have.
Are there any particular artists that you are feeling from the Bay?
From the Bay, let me see. There's a lot of underground artists that I know of that's coming out of my section.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of young art. I got a niece, Way. She's good. Check out Way Santana, Young Glows, Cali Hustle. Who else? Blaster. My little cousin, Waymo Bands. My little nephew, Peas, 800 Peas. You got a lot of cats coming from the other side too. You got a lot of Central cats. You got a lot of South Side cats. There's a lot of youngsters out there that's on the underground that's really good. They really good, and they're getting better. I must say, they're getting better.
Could you see yourself writing or rapping over like some of the more like modern sounding beats, or do you still prefer kind of like the more like soul sample, kind of like old school style? I guess technically old school, but it could still sound good, like Kanye type of style beats from like the early 2000s.
My thing is this: I'm more cerebral. You know, I'm cerebral. So I work with producers and I work with engineers. So whatever you got to offer me, that's gonna be what I can work with at that level. But anything you throw at me, any engineer, any producer that you throw at me, I'm gonna make the shit better. You know, I'm gonna make it better. You know, so It depends. Whoever you put me with, you're gonna get a different sound. Every song is gonna be different, and it's hit and miss. You know, I ain't gonna even lie, it's hit and miss. But it's gonna be different. It's gonna be something different. I'm not gonna give you the same thing over and over. I'm gonna always give you something different. So if you put me with, there's so many different producers nowadays, though. But if you put me with something, I'm gonna give you something.
I know back then your sound on your first album was more West Coast style. It definitely had a more distinct, like if hip hop fans listen to it, they'll be like,
that's because they put me with Andre Rivers. That's because they put me with him. Now, if you would have put me with somebody else, you would have had a different sound. If you would have put me like with a Kanye or Jelly Roll or anybody else, you would have had a different sound. You know, it's all about chemistry. That's the chemistry you got. I mean, I give you chemistry.
Do you have a particular sound that you like or that you prefer?
I like bass. I like bass beats that got hella bass in it. I like that. I like the type of music to where you can put it with them 415s or them them 318, them that amps and all that shit. I like music played loud. I like that type of music. I don't like phone. I don't like playing music on the phone. I like playing music loud and slamming it. I like music that just pounds and it just busts the trunk open. I like that gangster shit, you know. I like that gangster shit, that mid '90s, you know, that Tupac, Biggie, Spice One, Too Short, E40. I like that tremendo. Like E40 say it's tremendo. I like tremendo. Gotta have pound. That's what I prefer. I prefer gangster shit. I prefer mob. I prefer the mob music, but I can do it all though. I can do it all. That's why you saying me rapping on some new stuff. I don't got no problem with rapping on new stuff. You know, I can rap on new stuff. I got that much talent to where I can convert. I can grow. You know, so I don't got no worries about getting back into the fray. I'm gonna get right back into the fray, making good music. I don't doubt it. I got a lot of faith in my ability because I got a lot of chemistry. I got a lot of talent. Yeah. And you go see it.
Yeah, I heard it already on Coming Up in the Game, man. There's a lot of like tracks on there that, you know, I think sounds good, and I definitely hear the potential in your writing, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how you sound when you get hooked up with the right like engineers, producers that can match like the same like vocal production with the right sounds. So that'll be fun to see. I would say like kind of like
my thing, not to cut you off, Brandon, but my thing with the Coming Up in the Game album is enough people haven't heard it. Now, if enough people can hear it, I'll be satisfied. Right now, I'm not satisfied because enough people haven't heard it. Enough people don't know about me. Enough people ain't got a chance to run into me. But I want to reach the masses. I want more people to hear my album. Dr. Bombay Coming Up in the Game. Dr. Bombay the Money Gang Show. Dr. Bombay the Money Gang Circus. Dr. Bombay the Money Gang Monopoly coming soon. But I want more people to hear me. I want more people to be aware of me. And I want people to listen. Just listen.
I think once you come out too, and you're able to be more active in the streets as well, like and meet more people that can help you like promote and, you know, bring awareness, and then also, you know, I think telling your story, and then getting hooked up with the right people, and also I think that's gonna help push your career forward.
Hey Brandon, last time we touched on it a little bit. You know, we was talking about violence, rap, music and violence. Yeah. You know, it's a thin line when you're doing music and it's violence. It's a thin line. It's hard for that to work. You can't be being a rapper and being a gangster at the same time. It don't work. Either you go be a gangster or you go be a rapper. It don't go hand in hand. It's a recipe for disaster, and we seeing it play out right now in the street every day. We seeing it play out. Young rappers and shit, they getting their career started and starting to get a little buzz. Next thing you know, they gunned down in the street. You know, because it's a bad mix. It's oil and water. Either you go rap or you go be in the street, be in the G shit. It's hard. It's hard to mix them.
Who's some artists from like the 90s that we probably grew up listening to, like me and you, our generation, that you think we'll start with real. Who were the realest in the game to you, do you think?
As far as being in the street?
Yeah, kind of like meshing that well, like, because I feel like there's some rappers that you can kind of tell that, okay, it's known that they're
I got a rapper off there, Jay Jonah from Seagram. That's a real dude. Seagram from Oakland that got killed years back. Seagram, a lot of people might don't know Seagram, but Seagram was an East Oakland artist. He got killed way back in the day. He was in the damn street. He was if you ain't look up Seagram. I don't know what happened with all that old stuff, but he was a good artist. But he was in the streets. But it's a lot of artists that was in the street. Yeah. You know?
What are your thoughts on Rick Ross?
Oh, the boss? Oh, baby. But shit, can't knock him. The man got talent. The man can rap. The man can write. The man is a businessman. I'm sounding like Don King promoting this name. But you can't knock that man. He ain't never hurt nobody. No reason you ain't hurt nobody and hated on nobody and do your thing. You can't knock the next man for putting together. He thought about that. He sat down somewhere and came up with that. I got to get paid. This is what's going to get me paid. Hey, this is a good idea. That man is real smart. And to this day, he's still making smart moves. And he had a near-death experience, you know. Now that near-death experience, he came out here to California, I think, and them that had a near-death experience, somebody shot up his Lamborghini, and he relaxing a little bit more. He laying back a little more. You know, you want to last in this game, you can't be in the street. You gotta sit back. You gotta lay back, as you go get laid back. So you know.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of like when you rap, you have to. Sometimes you got to talk that big shit, man. And there's a lot of people coming up that are really in the streets that will want to test you, right?
You got to talk that big shit though. But it's like this: you talk that big shit, and you can back that big shit up.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna end up in the penitentiary. You talk that shit, you can't back that shit up. You gonna end up getting robbed, killed, extorted. You know, it's gonna end up bad. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
But I think
be out there like.
I think the important thing too is though, like once you become a bigger name, you can't be in the streets that much anymore. Like you said,
that's
you
the moral of the story.
Yeah, you gotta be like Rick Ross or Drake and just kind of like lay back.
Yeah, 50 Cent.
50 Cent. Yeah.
You never see him. You never see him. You want to live. You know?
Yeah.
For real, no bullshit. You know, everybody, a lot of the people that's out there in the street, a lot of them is deceased. You see them out there, they run out there in that street and they get murdered, get slaughtered.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think a lot of times it's like the younger generation, right? That they rap about it and then they feel like they have to still be out there. But I think when you make some bread, but maybe who knows, right? Maybe they don't have all the bread that they say they have.
Yeah, that's true too. That's very true. But you know, this game is a lot of it is smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. You know, a lot of times people act like they're on top of the world, like they're handling their business and this and that, and like they know it all. And turn around behind the scenes, they got a fucked up contract they didn't sign. You know, a lot of times people just be putting on. It ain't them. That's the man. It's the nigga that's next to him. That's the man. It's a lot of times, like I was telling you, a lot of these rappers is just rappers, you know, and they get exploited, they get extorted, they get punked, they get all type of shit. And a lot of these people, they in over their head. A lot of these rappers and these kids and these youngsters that's out there in the streets, they get a little fame, get a little money, but a lot of them is really in over their head. So, you know, what can you do? You out there, you in over your head. What can you do?
Yeah.
The day coming. Sooner or later, you're going to get the big shot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's what we touched on too last time is also that's one thing that I can see you doing well is since you've been in the game, like you can help a lot of young kids, like mentor them in the rap game,
yeah.
You know, like if you see some talented artist that is trying to juggle the street life and being an artist, mm-hmm. You can kind of help them and guide them in the right direction.
That's true. That's true because I didn't have nobody there for me. Wasn't nobody there for me, you know? Get it how you live, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was around all type of motherfuckers, all type of money, all type of shit, you know? I try to get somebody to help me and put some money into this shit too. They tell me, hey man, I don't know nothing about that shit. I ain't no rapper, you handle that shit. I ain't no rapper, I sell dope. You sell dope too. What you doing trying to do that rap shit? I don't know nothing about that shit. So a lot of times people was discouraged, but they do it now. But back in the day when I was coming up, a lot of people that had money was hesitant to put money inside music because they didn't know nothing about it. You know, a lot of times the artists, the rappers looked up to the drug dealers, the dope dealers, and the killers and the robbers and shit. You know, They looked up to the streets. So a lot of times, rappers, you in the streets and you happen to rap and shit, you don't want to leave the streets because you got more love in the streets than you do.
Yeah. I think we saw that like happen in the 80s, right? With like you know how like LL Cool J, he was coming up in the 80s, and then he would be around like some of those well-known gangsters, like those young gangsters like Rich Porter and you know what movie I'm talking about, from Paid in Full?
From Queens, all them Queens, yeah, Mitch and Money Making Mitch and all them from Queens, New York.
Yep.
It go hand in hand though. It go hand in hand. The streets and gangster rap go hand in hand, you know. But
even like Young
the rappers want to be the gangsters.
Yeah, you remember Young Jeezy, and he was closely tied with BMF.
Yeah, didn't they fall out or something?
Yeah.
Did he say something about Young Jeezy or something? Meech?
Yeah.
Did he say something about Young Jeezy? What did he say?
I can't even remember, but
disowned him? He disowned him?
I do remember reading or hearing something about that, but it was a while ago, so I'm not exactly for sure the details. But
you see the battle?
Oh, between Gucci Mane and Jeezy? I saw some of it. I didn't watch all of it, but I did see the part or read about where they had that beef, and then they were playing the diss track, and then it became kind of controversial.
Gucci Mane was rapping all his diss records, and Jeezy was rapping all his top 100 radio records. That shit was a disaster. Shit was a disaster, man.
Between those
Oil and water.
Between those two, which one do you like better?
I don't got any favorites. I don't got no favorites when it comes to them. Oh yeah, matter of fact, while we talking about, I like a lot of Atlanta artists. I like Zaytoven. You know, he's a good producer. I like Zaytoven. I like the Migos. I like Gucci Mane. I like Jeezy. I like Future. You know, but it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compare two different styles. That's just like what you like. You like the Drunken Monkey, or you like the Lion style. You can't. They two different styles. Like say you can't compare LL Cool J to DMX. You know, you can't say that LL ain't good, and you can't say them two different styles. You can't compare that swagger, the shit that Jeezy talk about, selling dope and balling and sweat and having money and big Bentleys and Audemars. You can't compare that shit to Gucci Mane talking about, yeah, I be smoking motherfuckers and I be killing niggas and putting them in ditches because he got his niche. That's Gucci Mane niche. Jeezy got his niche. You know, just because you don't sell the most records, that don't mean you're not talented. That don't mean you're not as equal. Just because Jeezy outsells Gucci Mane don't make him better.
Yeah,
they just different artists.
When you come out and you're able to hook up with more like professional workers as far as like engineers and producers, like what do you think your niche is going to be?
Painting a picture with words. Whereas I want to make a fucking movie on an album. I want you to be able to listen to my album and see my movie. Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want you to be able to see what I'm rapping about. I want you to be able to taste it, feel it, smell it. I want you to be able to, just from listening. I talk about some gangster shit. I ain't on that gangster shit no more, but I can still talk about it.
Yeah.
But I rap about some gangster shit. I want you to feel like you finna go on that mission too. I want you to feel like you finna go smoke Ricky too. You know, I rap about getting high. I want you to feel like you popped the Zanny. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to see the shit, taste the shit, feel the shit. That's what I want to make. I want to make that music that you can see. Like, that's a good thing right there. Feel me?
Yeah.
I want to make music you can see.
Did you get a chance to listen to Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City?
Oh yeah, I like Kendrick Lamar too. I did. Yes, I did listen to that. I like a lot of Kendrick Lamar. I got his CD right now. But yeah, I fuck with Kendrick Lamar. He's good. He's talented. Yeah. He's a class act. He was
one of the few, I think, artists to come out of Compton that was able to maneuver like away from like the gangster rap, right? And he started rapping more about conscious stuff. Mm-hmm.
He was co-signed by Dr. Dre, and him and Dr. Dre never fell out. I mean, that ain't easy to say. A lot of people that's worked with Dr. Dre or been co-signed by Dr. Dre down the line, they didn't fell out somewhere, down the line somewhere, and either got back together or stayed apart. But he ain't never had no problem with Kendrick Lamar though. He co-signed him, hey, and he took off and ran.
What is your release date?
2022.
Yeah, because I'm kind of excited to see what kind of moves you're able to make when you get out. You know.
Yeah, you gonna see me. You gonna see me. I'm telling you. I'm destined for great things. I'm destined to be famous. I'm destined for all. I'm destined. It's like I'm a star. I don't want to sound cocky, arrogant, brag, bravado, but I'm a star. I'm a star. I got talent. You know, I'm a star that recognizes other stars. I want everybody to shine. If you're good at something, I want you to be able to shine. I don't give a fuck if you just bringing in the records, if you carrying the crates. Be the best crate carrier you can be. But I'm just ready to shine. And I want to shine with everybody. I want my niggas to shine. I want everybody to shine. I want my bitches, everybody. All my niggas and all my bitches. Hey, B, hey, Brandon.
Yo.
I see you got that Michael Jackson shirt on, and that's a legend right there.
Yeah, MJ, man, he's the GOAT. He's the ultimate entertainer, right?
Yes. I was just telling you about an artist. That's an artist. See how you paint a picture with words?
Yeah.
An artist. Right? He rap about Billie Jean. You think she did you wrong? You think she trying to say the baby yours?
Yeah.
You know?
You remember that movie Boys in the Hood when Doughboy, when he was a kid, he was rocking this Michael Jackson shirt, but a white one, when they went to go find the dead body.
And they went to the store. He like, you ain't got no money. He like, I'm going to the store anyway. I'm gonna go steal some shit.
We could pick up there. I think that's a good point. Is like we talked about this last time. Back in the 90s, early 90s, there was movies, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, that kind of like inspired a new genre of like hood movies, I should say. I call them hood movies, but gangster shit, right? Those were the ones. Those were the big major ones. To you, what was the major difference between like those movies versus reality, like how you were living?
Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, they was reflections of the time, you know. Them was real movies, you know. Them was portrayals of the street. But a lot of times, movies is like books. You ain't gonna never be able to put everything in it. When you make a movie out the book, you ain't gonna never be able to put everything in it. When you make a movie out of life, you ain't gonna never be able to put everything in it. I can talk about life forever. Talk about the streets and talk about everything we're doing, but I'll never be able to put everything into a song. It's just like a book. You'll never be able to put all the book into the movie. You'll never be able to put all the life into a song. It's gonna always be something to do. Always something to put in. I'm always have something to say. Which
one did you prefer between Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society?
I liked them both with two different things. You know, I'm real political. You know, it's never yes I know. Boys in the Hood, it touched me more on the emotional side. Menace to Society touched me a little more on the gangster side. Menace to Society was more gangster. More going to the liquor store, shoot the motherfucking people and stomp the dude out and come shoot the motherfucker 30 times. And Boys in the Hood was more to where my brother got killed trying to make it out, and it was a tearjerker. Ain't nobody cried during Menace to Society. But in Boys in the Hood, when Ice Cube walked off and he faded out, everybody wanted to cry and shit. A week later, Doughboy was gunned down. You know, that's so sad, you know.
I agree, 100%. What were your thoughts on that movie Soul Plane?
Kevin Hart, huh?
Yeah.
Back in the day, Kevin Hart, before Kevin Hart was Kevin Hart, it got a lot of flack. That movie got a lot of flack, but there was a lot of stereotypes in there.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I liked it. I mean, it wasn't as terrible as people said it was.
One of my theories is the reason why mainstream didn't like it that much is because they made fun of white people too much in it.
Oh, I never peeped that. It's like this. Stereotypes, I feel, is a place for stereotypes. But stereotypes must come with a disclaimer. You got to put a disclaimer on stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like, this and that. But hey, this is a stereotype. This is not how everybody is. But this is a stereotype. People need to learn about stereotypes.
Last time we were talking about the tree game too being legal now. So that's something that when you got locked up, that was 99.
Yeah. I took those trips. I took them Humboldt County trips. Couldn't go to the motherfucking the fucking marijuana shop or the motherfucker, whatever they call that shit.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. We had to take that trip.
Now it's a different ball game when you get out. So there's a lot of legalities though, like with like getting into like the legal marijuana business, a lot of licensing and expensive. I heard it's pretty expensive.
Hey, Martha Stewart is in the hemp business.
Oh yeah.
You make doggy treats. You make hemp treats for dogs.
I guess it's all about finding your niche per se, like in that, if that's the career path that you wanted to go down, like what would be like your idea of marijuana? I think like the industry, like how would you go legally?
How I would go legally with marijuana is I would basically keep it old school, keep it the same. Ain't nothing wrong with the way we was doing it. Marijuana is a party drug. It's meant for you to party with it. It's meant for you. It's meant to relax your mind. It's meant for you to relax and chill and kick back. And you can't change that. That's what it's meant for. So you gotta just cater to people that need it medically, the people that want to party. Because I prefer people to use marijuana than pills. I prefer people to use marijuana than heroin and methamphetamine. You know, I prefer marijuana over all that. You know, I prefer people to smoke weed than smoke cigarettes. I think you should. I'd rather you smoke weed than smoke cigarettes. I think they should ban cigarettes and start rolling weed up and that's cigarette weed. Newport should come out with a motherfucking marijuana line. Throw that weed through the machine and make some squares out of this shit.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the future. I think that's what we're gonna start seeing is what you're saying.
Maybe you can beat them to it. All you gotta do is go find something that makes squares, make cigarettes. The machine.
Yeah.
Throw some pounds in that motherfucker, and voila, you got packs of motherfucking cookies.
You know what usually happens though is that once they see like the small people like doing well, the bigger corporations with money, they start to produce it at a higher and faster rate, and then they try to run a monopoly on it.
You know what, Brandon? That makes sense, because who do you know want to sit up there and roll up their cigarette to smoke it? Why that motherfucker ain't finna sit there and roll up a cigarette and smoke it? Why they gonna roll it up when they go to the store and buy a pack of cigarettes and fire that motherfucker up? You should be able to go and buy packs of weed, just like a pack of cigarettes, a pack of weed.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's rolling up is gonna become obsolete. So whoever get ahead of the curve and get into that game to where and make it easy, because we in a microwave generation. People don't want to roll up no weed. They don't want to roll up cigarettes. That's something to think about. Everybody wants shit now. Don't nobody want to sit there and do shit. So just like I was saying, don't nobody want to sit up there and roll up their cigarettes. They go get the cigarettes and smoke them. Don't nobody want to sit up there and roll up their weed. So you could just have that shit, the weed thing, and press that shit up.
They have a lot of like companies, I think, that are selling pre-rolls already.
I haven't seen it.
You can buy something like this. It comes in like packs. It kind of
they're already ahead of the curve.
But I think it's going to be produced on an even bigger scale eventually. Like
the value will go down.
Yeah, the value is going to go down, and it's going to be sold like cigarettes, I think, at Walmart.
What about the people that's in it for the business though? What's this going to be for the small man, little guy?
Some will survive, I think, and some will go out of business. But that's just the changing of the times and a little bit of luck. And
don't nobody survive corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Can't nothing survive a corporation. Corporations crush shit. Who you know that's gonna survive Hennessy and Jim Beam, and them corporations is juggernauts. They go crush it. Let them get into the marijuana business.
What was like your first experience like using marijuana?
My first experience using marijuana, I was like 6th grade, and I already was smoking cigarettes, sneaking cigarettes and shit. So it wasn't no big jump to hit a joint. So I was like in the 6th grade. So probably about like 91, 92. I smoked, I hit it. It wasn't that good. The stuff wasn't that good, so I didn't really get that high. I started getting high when I started smoking chronic. That's when I started getting high. Like when I first started smoking, it wasn't that strong. It was brown.
Do you have any like stories of like when you've been like the highest, like that you can remember, like just like a crazy high?
I'm gonna tell you like this: smoking weed is like this. When you first start, you might smoke like a joint, one or two, whatever. But the longer you smoke weed, the higher your tolerance get. You go from smoking a $10 joint to smoking 2 joints to smoking a 16th to smoking an 8 to smoking a quarter ounce. It's like the more you smoke, the more you gotta smoke. So I got so fucking my tolerance got so high. Like I was telling you when I went to that Summer Jam concert, between me and 2 other guys, we smoked the whole ounce. That's how high my tolerance, and I wasn't nothing but 14, 15, and it was good shit. But that's how high my tolerance got, to where we didn't even have time to break the weed down. We were smoking buds, you know, and that's something about marijuana. That the more you smoke, the more you can smoke.
What are some of like your favorite foods to eat while you're high?
McDonald's. I like fast food.
Yeah.
I'm a fast food fanatic. AFC.
Somebody on your album that Coming Up in the Game, when they were talking at the end of the song,
that was a childhood friend of mine. I was in the studio one night making that song. And he came in. He was like, "Man, let me talk on the record. Man, I can't rap or none of that, but I can talk." And we put him in the booth.
He was talking about getting high and going to McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell. All my favorites.
Yeah, see, I like fast food. Like that fast food. Can't go wrong.
What is your diet like where you're at currently?
Fish and rice. I eat a lot of fish and rice. Oysters, mackerel, rice. I drink a lot of coffee, work out a lot.
Were you into any sports when you were coming up?
I hate losing. I'm a sore loser. See, I don't like playing sports because there's always somebody out there bigger and faster and stronger. And I couldn't take, you ain't finna be whooping me. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't take it. I hate losing. So, don't play. You can't afford to lose, don't play. I'm not playing because I'm not finna sit there and get my ass whooped on a basketball court.
Yeah. Were you a fan of any sports coming up?
I like it all. I like baseball, basketball, football. Never understood soccer. I like golf. I like sports. Y'all watch boxing.
Yeah. Who was your biggest inspiration coming up?
As far as what? Like inspiration as far as?
I guess either life, or if you have one that's for life and one that's for music.
My biggest inspiration for music is old school hip hop, 86, 87. That was my inspiration, that era, 86, 87, 88. You can say that's the real dope era. That's the real dope era. You know what I'm saying? 86, 87, 88. That was my inspiration for music. So all them guys that came up in the 80s, from the mid 80s to the 90s, that was my inspiration. So I really looked up to all those guys. NWA, Fuji Rap, Too Short, Big Daddy Kane, Boogie Down Production, Ice-T. It was that era. That era influenced me. You know, that era influenced me musically.
Did you listen to like any like R&B music too, or it was just mostly rap?
I just now recently started listening to R&B as I got older. But when I was in the street, gangsta. From Easy to Bone Thugs and Harmony, Spice One, Tupac. It was always rap. Rap was my theme music.
What are your thoughts on Eminem?
Eminem?
Yeah.
Everything that the game goes through is for us to learn from it. It's all a learning curve. So when Eminem came in the game, he was a white dude. A lot of white dudes didn't really come in with that type of talent. Like Beastie Boys didn't have no Eminem talent. Beastie Boys had swag and all that, but they didn't have no motherfucking Eminem talent. But it was something for us to learn from, you know. And when he came in and he did what he did and he was accepted, we learned from that. So it was good. Eminem was good for the game.
One thing he said on his like newest project, he said sometimes he gets tired of hearing about like people always using an excuse saying that he sold so many records because he's white, because there's a lot of white rappers that don't sell as many records as he does.
You know why he sold so many records?
Dr. Dre.
Because of chemistry. The chemistry him and Dre had. They had chemistry. You know why fucking Michael Jordan won so many rings? Because he had chemistry. All the motherfuckers, they had chemistry. Chemistry brings it together. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you ain't got that chemistry, it ain't gonna work. You could be white, black, whatever you is, it ain't gonna work. You can have all the talent, you gotta have chemistry. Him and Dre had chemistry.
Yeah.
That's why he was successful, not because he was white.
He grew up in a pretty like
urban.
Yeah, urban. So that kind of influenced his music, as well as kind of like it was, I think he had a tougher upbringing, so I think that kind of motivated him and gave him drive too as well.
See, what it is that's what he was. You know, he didn't pick that shit. He didn't want to be from there and all that old shit. He didn't choose that. That was his life. So he came up from where he came from, and you can't. It ain't like he just was a pretender or whatever. He came from the trailer park, you know. So shit, it ain't like he was a fraud. You know, he's authentic.
Yeah, I agree. Who's your top 5?
Lyricist, gangsta.
There's so many subgenres, right? I guess.
Yes.
Top 5 artists in general.
Apples and oranges. You know, like ain't nobody make no single like Biggie. Can't nobody make a single like Biggie. Ain't nobody make no record for the ladies like LL Cool J. It's like it's hard to compare. I mean, like Nas is an awesome lyricist. That's apples and oranges.
Top 5 that maybe inspired you the most, I guess.
Top 5 that inspired me the most. Me coming from the Bay Area, me being a part of music and being interested in music, being a part of my life for so long. I say Eric B. and Rakim. I say Tupac. I say Eazy-E. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna say Eazy-E. Eazy-E.
Eazy-E.
Yes. He the one that put Ice Cube in that motherfucking booth. He went and found Ren, and he went and got Dr. Dre and put all these motherfuckers together. He the one that went and did that. That is genius. That's genius, right? He went and got Bone Thug and Harmony. That's the blueprint. He had the blueprint. He showed people the blueprint, and to this day, people is still following that Eazy-E blueprint. That's what Suge did. Suge followed the NWA blueprint. When he made Death Row, he built Death Row at the NWA, at the Ruthless. He went and got Dre and made his own Ruthless. He went and got Dre, he got Snoop, and then he just, bam, it's chemistry. That's the blueprint, and I'll follow that blueprint, and it still has worked to this day. That blueprint worked.
He had a good ear for talent, right?
That's what Puff Daddy do. Puff when he got Biggie, Puff when he got Faith, Total, bam, chemistry. Mary, you know, that's the blueprint. Go get that talent. Well, a lot of them people exploit it, but, you know, they find it.
Yeah, that's something that I think if you have an ear for talent too as well, like you can find some young Bay Area rappers from Richmond, right? And then kind of help them or groom them into like the next whatever, right? The next star.
It's like this. I'm really not geographical. It's just like if your heart right, I gravitate toward it. I gravitate toward positive energy. So anybody that got a good heart, got the right persona, the right attitude, that's what I gravitate toward. I gravitate toward something that can build. I want to build. So if something can help me build and it's authentic and it's real, I'm gonna rock with it.
There might be some young kids out there that have talent, right? But they just don't have the right support group or right mentors helping them.
When it comes to that like that, it's like a lot of people will mislead you. You would think that people would do the right thing and show people how to fish and eat on their own. But a lot of times we got that type of mentality to where it's just like predator. You want to keep a person dependent on you. So you're not going to teach them and show them the way. Like when Master P went to get Snoop Dogg from Suge Knight, right? He was trying to get Snoop out the deal, and he talking to Suge, and P looking at the contract. He like, damn, what kind of contract is this? I mean, like, this ain't, you giving this dude peanuts. This dude is a platinum artist. He doing this and doing that. Should tell him, why would I give a motherfucker something if they don't even know what they worth? Why would I give him millions when he don't even know what he worth? Now, this is a platinum artist getting 10,000, getting 100,000, selling millions of records. And when you come trying to comb through his deal, you see that his deal is a bullshit ass handshake deal, and you like, shit, why you doing like this? Shit, I ain't finna give a motherfucker something if they don't even know what they worth. If you don't know what you worth, hey, that ain't my fault. That's your problem.
Yeah, it's a cold game, man. It's a lot of that, and I think that's a known fact in the industry, or even in entertainment, right? Is artists or entertainers getting exploited.
A lot of them youngsters scared to sign a deal because they think they're gonna get exploited. But it's like this though. Would you rather never have a shot? You might got to get exploited for a minute. I'd rather sacrifice a little to have more than not have nothing. I'd rather have a deal than not have a deal.
I agree. I was talking with some this other MC, and I asked him the same thing. I said, is it better to maybe get that one hit and then be well known for a long time, or never have that big hit, you know?
One hit can change your life. One hit can change your life. One hit can make your career. Just one. That's the name of the game. That's when I came in the game. That's what I came in with, that attitude. With that, that's that Master P attitude. All it takes is one hit. One hit can change your life. That's all it takes is one hit.
You said you stopped blazing trees, right, for like 8 years?
Yeah.
What was the reason you stopped?
It wasn't because I didn't like smoking or that I was done smoking, but I was being tested. I had to give samples, urine samples, once a week, twice a week. You know, I was getting tested. So I said I can't afford to piss dirty, so I'm gonna stop. So when I stopped, I didn't have a craving for it no more. It ain't that I couldn't handle it. It ain't that I didn't like it. It was that I didn't have a craving for it no more. I like to smoke in my environment. I don't like to smoke out of, this is not my environment. So I can't enjoy it. So I want to smoke in my environment where I can just be myself.
Was there like an adjustment period from when you stopped smoking? Like, could you tell it like
Yes.
in your mood or energy?
You can tell because it's basically like you got to find something else. You got to find another habit. You got to find something to take that spot. It's a big space. Smoking weed is a big space. When you stop, you gotta pick something else up. You gotta start drinking coffee, or you gotta start smoking cigarettes, or you gotta start working out, or you gotta start drinking water. You gotta find something else to do to fill that void, or else you go pick it right back up.
What about like drinking? Are you like into like drinking at all?
Yeah, I like alcohol. I like Hennessy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like hard. I don't drink beer. I drink cognac.
Yeah.
Weed and alcohol. Weed and cognac is my preference. That's what I choose. That's what I really like.
Yeah, me too. That's a different level. When I smoke trees and drink on some Hennessy, like it gets, my mind state changes a lot. It could be addictive feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that you feel like is going to be hard for you to control, or you're going to be like, you can manage it when you get out?
I feel I'll be able to manage it because I'm not all in. I don't overdo nothing. I can't abuse stuff. You gotta learn how to use stuff, and that don't just go for weed or alcohol. That goes for life. It's okay to use something, just don't misuse it. When you misuse stuff, that's when you start abusing stuff. It's okay to use stuff. Whatever you choose to do, whether it's marijuana, heroin, and methamphetamine, whatever you do, as soon as you start misusing it, it's gonna take a hold of you. It's gonna take over. So as long as you can handle it, you can do it. That's my mantra. Can't handle it, don't do it.
I like talking to you, man. You have some interesting perspectives on things.
I appreciate you too.
Do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
I want to say what's up to G-Funk, for the homies out there in Australia, hooking me up. I want to say what's up to all the underground artists out there in the Bay Area. I want you guys to go to YouTube and look up Dr. Bombay, Coming Up in the Game, the Money Gang Show, the Money Gang Circus. Check it out. I want you guys to listen to that, and I want you guys to support my man Brandon. I'm out.
We can't forget, we got to give a shout out to your wife too, right?
Yeah, you know it. I want to give a shout out to my wife, TMH. You know who she is. I love her, and I appreciate her, and it's for life. This thing is for life.
Right on, Dr. Bombay. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. We're gonna do it again.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Double O T.